What's up, guys? Welcome to A Vibe Call West Radio. Today we have a very special guest, Jforte. How you doing, man?
I'm good, dude. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm really happy that we were able to make this manifest after we met in Sacramento, opening up for Devin the Dude.
Hell yeah. Shout out to LA Traffic for making this a longer than normal ride.
Yeah, it was crazy. You were telling me like from Long Beach, you got here in the same time as I got from Venice. Which
Yeah.
for people that don't know, that's fucking ridiculous. Like LA traffic is gnarly, but hey, I'm just really excited to be here. And I always want to say, I know I told you this after the show, but you bringing out the breakdancers at our show was fucking electric.
Shout out to my boys.
Yeah.
My B-boys, man. They're phenomenal. I mean, I didn't even get to share anything about them, but a few of them are Olympic, like, B-boys.
I can see that.
They're literally like, they're a part of we just brought in, that type of dance into the Olympics,
I
right?
didn't know that. No, that's awesome.
So breakdancing just got inducted into the Olympics, and my boys, who you saw at my show, they're literally a part of the Olympic team.
Dude, I totally understand why. Like they're fantastic, and it was such a cool energy shifter in the room. It was just the whole thing was super unique, and I was really excited to get you on the podcast and kind of discuss your story. And I gotta say, like, I was blown away with just the scope of everything that you've done. It's just to like read it off, technical degree in software engineering, played college football, became an astronaut, and even made biodegradable toothbrush in charcoal toothpaste.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty wild. Before we jump to that, I just want to give a shout out to the B-boys one more time.
Of course, yeah, please.
B-boy Wicked, B-boy Wavy, B-boy Morris, all my B-boys, my boys from Oakland, my boys from Sacramento. I appreciate you guys. I fuck with you guys, and we bring in hip-hop, and we bring in breakdancing, and we bring in the 4 quadrants of hip-hop back to life. That's it, but my bad.
No, 100%, that was great. Totally agree. You really brought like literally like New York City to Sacramento at that point.
Oh, yeah.
But just like doing all that research, I was blown away with just the scope, and someone that's so multifaceted and so driven. We'll get into the phrase "make it happen," which is that song, and the thesis really rings across all that you do. So I just want to say I was blown away with that. And I also read that your second grade teacher said that you shouldn't be a rapper.
Yeah.
And you really have taken that.
Shout out Miss Hawksby. Hey, I got love for you, Miss Hawksby. If I ever see you, I got love for you. But, I had to use that chip on my shoulder in my rhymes.
You have to. Yeah, it's a normal thing. But it's so funny because, I think everyone that is an artist has a similar person. Or like, like that one just like everyone has a very similar story to that.
Yeah. And I think, too, a point of maturing is understanding that even those people that said those things, they're only able to see from what they can see, right?
Of course.
And so it's you can use it as energy to fuel your dreams. But once you get to a certain age and you start to realize like, hey, they're only seeing it from what they could see. Like, it's not like they had bad intentions for me. They didn't know what it would evolve to.
100%. Yeah.
So,
I think it's the idea of also like they're just projecting their own.
Right.
Like, it's not about you. When she says that, it's not like Jforte cannot make it as a rapper. It's just like, to me, it doesn't seem conceivable. So like I would just urge you not to do it.
Exactly, right? We don't know. All I see is DMX with pit bulls on TV and Eminem like saying, "My mama's on your lips," all on Fox 10. That's what our teacher saw. And so they're like, "You don't want to spend all your money and be broke." And it's like, yeah, I mean, it looks kind of cool. Like,
but you're like, it's also so much more than that.
Yeah, so much more.
And it's like it's this art form that's vulnerable and pure, and has empowered so many different groups of people, and it's so it's dope to see that you're embodying that essence, and also bleeding into a bunch of other things in your life. So that we're gonna dive into, but. Really quick, before we go forward, I want to do kind of a breakdown of the show for the new and old listeners. So prior to Jforte coming on, I asked him what his favorite album was. He told me Carter 3 by Lil Wayne. I then went on Spotify. Wheezy, then seated the...
Lil Tucci.
Literally, with the lighter flick. Lighter flick. I don't even know. But then I went on Spotify, seated the songs 1 through 8 based on total number of streams. I put them into a tournament bracket, and we're going to see which song Jforte thinks is the best one. Are you ready to do that?
Let's get it.
Before we dive into the questions about you and like the bracket, why is this album so important to you?
Man, freshman year of high school, we moved to Atlanta, Georgia. The Carter 2 drops, Carter 3 drops, And this point in my life, I had ran away from home multiple times. At this point in my life, it's summer. I'm living at my coach's house in Phoenix, Arizona. My coach from football, like Pop Warner, right? I was able to live with him that summer because things were so hectic at the crib. And I just remember jogging in the park, listening to dun 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 dun. That have I done so bad? What is my destiny? And I just remember listening to that and just like being at peace and just knowing like everything's gonna be all right. And so it's got bangers on there, bro. Like
Literally.
it's got bangers. Carter 1, Carter 2, Carter 3, like Carter 4, like the mixtapes, like Weezy is, I fucking love Weezy. Yeah.
His longevity is insane, and his quality to match that longevity is also insane. So yeah, he's a full-on GOAT in my eyes. You know, we grew up around his peak and his ascension. So to see, you know, I was very young, obviously, but to see it in real time. And then, you know, I remember I was freshman year when the Carter 4 came out in high school, or sophomore when Carter 4 came out. And it was just a moment. Like, so I'm really happy that you chose this album. I'm excited to dive in. And so let's start off with the first matchup, which is going to be A Milli versus Comfortable.
A Milli.
Yeah, it's tough. That beat is.
A Milli.
Yeah.
A Milli.
Easy.
Ah.
What do you like so much about that record?
Bro, all right. The beat is fire.
Ridiculous.
Just off the top, like when you hear that, like oh milli, 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 oh milli. You dig? And then that shit goes bah, bah, and you just like, ooh, like that's like I'll fight to that song. I'll pull out. I'll do some dangerous shit to that song, like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, transfers, like, dude, that energy is contagious.
Yeah.
100%. I agree. It's an iconic song that every hip hop fan probably, the beat comes on, you're like instantly like fucking elevated.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. That
and Comfortable, I mean, it's a vibe too. It's just a totally different song.
Totally different.
It's all good. We're making love. And granted, we're bandit.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Very different than
very different. But it's a vibe too.
It is. They're I would say none of these records are bad. Like they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Millie's going on. Now let's do the next matchup, which is going to be 2 vs 7 Lollipop versus Let the Beat Build. Tough one.
So this one's tough because at first Lollipop is such an iconic song. It's an absolute banger, right? Mm-hmm. He's so sweet, think I wanna lick the rapper. No Diddy.
Yeah.
But like I gotta go Let the Beat Build because just because, bro, like off hip hop, like Lollipop to me is that song that just took it to a whole nother level. But Let the Beat Build is just like so foundational for hip hop and let the beat build beat.
And Kanye produced
that's how you let the beat build beat. So I'm gonna go with Let the Beat Build on this one.
I agree. Yeah, I think Kanye producing that is a big moment too. That combination is incredible together, and like that vocal sample is just contagious. And I agree. So I agree with you on both those, by the way. So. Awesome, guys. You're getting kind of the theme of the show. I want to move into some questions now because I'm fascinated with your backstory. So after doing research on your background, the information I found being described as intriguing and ambitious would be a massive understatement. I read that the origin of your music career stemmed from a situation where you fell 150 feet from a straight line into 18 feet of water. Can you let the listeners know in that moment why that was the direct catalyst for you starting to create records under Jforte?
Yeah, so it's funny that you bring that up. I was on this game show 4 years ago called Cannonball, and it's like Ninja X Warrior in the water. Wow. And so they bring all of these like interesting influencers. Like there was this really cool girl that I was doing the show with. She was a playgirl. And then like there were some other cool like influencers and stuff like that. Well, I won the whole first competition. And so I was actually supposed to be like the guy to win it all. And shit happens, bro. And they strapped me to a giant volleyball, like probably like 12 by 12 feet, like just one of those giant ones, right? And we had these gloves and then just like, you know, like zip line. And they throw you on the zip line like 50 miles per hour. And below you is like 200 feet of nothingness in this man-made lake. And you have to jump and hit a target. Yeah. And I went to jump, but I had my fingers caught in the rope. So I jump off this volleyball and just snap my whole arm, and I'm dangling like Woody from Toy Story. Like, just picture that, just useless, like
Yeah.
in the air. And then without my shoulder actually getting ripped off, I found the energy just to be like, "Ugh," and just use my wrist to just pop those fingers out, right? So the glove was still stuck in the rope. And I fell, and I fell all the way into this lake. And I remember trying to swim, but I could only use this hand because this whole arm just went limp. And I'm like, it happened so fast, I didn't know what happened to it. I'm like, why is this arm not working? And so I'm swimming in like a circle, like a little tornado to the top. And I get to the top, I finally breathe, and the contestants or the host is like, oh, it's tough luck, Jesse, better next time. And I'm just like, help. They're like, all right, quit being a poor sport. I'm like, no, really, I need help. And they're like, So they had like underwater scuba divers that were there. They brought this boat out, and they brought me back to shore. The whole shoulder was just like sunk into my chest, and the bone was sticking out.
Oh, wow.
And I went to UCLA, and I was pretty bummed about that because I moved to LA with nothing, and there was like a $10,000 gift that they would give the winner, and I was just so pumped to win it because I was like, man, this 10K will help me like get a place, like maybe get a car, like a used car, like something to get off of, couch surfing and blah, blah, blah. And so I was so bummed, and I was like, man, I got to go back home to Arizona because what am I going to do now? And they put me under anesthesia because they couldn't pop my shoulder in while I was awake because I was just too stiff, too strong. Put me to sleep. They popped it back in. And this dude that was from my church, he was like over me because I asked him to take me. I needed a place to stay, so I asked him to take me to his place. And he looked over at me, and then I was like, did you do the surgery? He's like, nah, dude, I'm not a doctor. And then the next day we went and saw Jesus is King. So Kanye had just released that new album, and it really gave me assurance, like, you know what, dude, we're going to make this shit happen. Like, we can't just give up on the first sight of failure. Like, we got to use this fuel as something positive. So a weekend, I started working out again, doing one-arm push-ups, getting my legs right, just getting that mind state to keep going forward. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm so happy that you're okay. And that is a really one traumatic experience, but it's interesting when something like that, you feel like you have this momentum, and then it's by no fault of your own, it's like kind of taken from you. And it's amazing to see what you've grown out of that situation. And I know that you wrote the DSMS song on the glass of a 405 workplace. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that was the first record you make post accident.
Yeah.
So what does that record mean to you now when you look back and you listen to that?
Man. So for anybody that hasn't heard it, go type in DSMS. DSMS stands for Desert Shadows Middle School, right? That was the middle school that I went to. Shout out to DSMS, shout out to PVUSD, shout out to Horizon, shout out to Scottsdale, Paradise Valley. I'm originally from Phoenix. I'm originally from Paradise Valley. And, DSMS playing ball in the heat of AZ, I needed water, 11 through 13, hurt my knees, Kudasco Slaughters. It's just talking about, like, what I went through, right? Talking about my journey. Like, I'm not on some, like, hood gangster shit. Like, I wear blue and I'm not a Crip. Like,
He just
I
likes
don't know.
He just likes the Dodgers.
I'm a huge Yankee and Diamondbacks fan, but like I love LA. So I love LA. And I mean, if you saw my last video, I was Crip walking in Sacramento. I was like,
Well, I bet you just like with the breakdancers, it was really good. I
Hell
watched
yeah.
that video after. I want to so what I'm hearing and what we're gonna keep diving into is this persistence and this kind of durability and making it happen as a theme. And I was reading that during the pandemic, you actually released a song a week for over 33 weeks.
I think it was more than 33
Yeah, so over
weeks.
33, like more than that.
Yeah, for sure.
What was the biggest hurdle and what was the biggest benefit of undertaking that?
I think the biggest hurdle was that
Making the songs, you're like...
No, I mean, making songs is easy when you are committed to making music, right? I think the biggest issue was that the pandemic hit. I was living with 5 or 6 roommates that were starting this, algae company, like this like micronutrient dense organization. I had just got let go from my fancy little job in Manhattan Beach, and so I literally just used all the savings that I had.
Wait, where'd you work in Manhattan Beach? I'm from there. I'm from there.
Wedgwood.
What?
Wedgwood.
What is that? Is that real estate?
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
they're right next to fucking Northrop Grumman.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I grew up. Sorry, go.
Okay. Yeah, so Wedgwood. Thanks for making me great.
And so you're sorry, you were living with your roommates, and then you just been let go.
Yeah, they needed a new CIO. I freaking operated as an interim CIO for like a couple days a week, and then I was doing all this other work for them, and then I was like their top candidate, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're losing money, so we're just gonna let go of you." And so I was like, "Whatever, fuck it."
Yeah.
And so that kind of inspired me to just be like, you know what, man, I didn't want to work for those motherfuckers anyways. Like, let me go and do what I want to do, and what I want to do is make music. And so every fucking day, dude, I was up at the crack of dawn, like I was working my 9 to 5, just headphones, curating beats, writing shit down, like. And I'll never forget my buddy Elliot, who lived in the other duplex in the room, because we had a room that was split in two. Also, it was the Black Sabbath's house. So we moved into the founders of San Pedro's home, and I guess like in late 80s, early 90s, Black Sabbath used to live there. The person who owned the home was like, "Yo, you do music? That's cool." A band used to live here. When we go to like down to the basement, it's like all their like old stuff. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
So good juju, good energy in that place. Definitely some spirits, ghost. Windows would like move around and shit. You're just like, oh, okay, they're listening to my music.
Literally.
I have fans.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, man, so that was probably the toughest thing. And then not blowing, right? Like making all that music every week, distributing it, finding out the business aspects of how I want to market it, making music videos.
In the pandemic.
Shout out to Peerspace, like
yeah, literally.
You know, like these just finding out how to do it as an independent artist, getting props, getting people to come to your event so that you can do the music videos, like marketing it on social media, like being this one-man circus and figuring out how people with teams of 25, 30, 100 do it alone. Mass email marketing, all of that. Figuring it out on the fly, spending everything you fucking have to see if we can make a song blow, if we can do something different, right? And through those experiences, you realize that, oh, I can do everything that these labels can do. And I can probably do it better than them because I work faster and I'm more efficient.
100%. Yeah, I think it's definitely something that's becoming more and more apparent, that the label is, becoming not obsolete, but it's almost like a luxury that you don't need to really have a sustainable music career. Just, they siphon whatever percentage they take, and, they might offer up the capital, but at the same time, like they might control some of the creative control or like the allocation of money. So yeah, no, I think it's beautiful when you realize that all the tools are actually out there.
Absolutely.
If you're willing to, kind of commit to that. So I read the thing about, and I know that you adopted the song A Week from Russ.
Yeah.
And, I thought that
it's all in your head. And shout out, I want to say one other thing to the viewers that are listening. Everything that I just mentioned, it's all in your head and you can apply it, man. Dude, we have GPT, we have YouTube University, we have Wikipedia, we have BeatStars, we have everything that you need to be successful. You just have to go out there and figure out what you need, right? So, like for instance, this podcast, man, like we have multiple cameras set up, we have mics set up, we have lighting, like we have this own place. We have somebody that's here, like figure it out on the fly if you really want to do it.
100%. No, when I first did my podcast, it was horrible. I literally had mics in front of my face, but like at the same time, just start it.
Yeah.
Just do it once, and then it will keep evolving. And there'll be more iterations. But unless you like actually like put in the time to do it once, then it might not ever happen. So I totally agree with everything you're saying. And now, kind of because you wear so many different hats, I want to go to.
Nope, just one.
Yeah, just that one.
Just wearing one hat.
I know that you've published 4 books.
Yeah.
The 4th being released December 11th, 2023. Yeah. Can you please walk me through the creative differences of crafting a novel versus an album? Do you find more relief in finishing one over the other? And which craft of writing do you prefer more?
Okay. Those are 3 great questions. I'm tough at answering all three at the same time.
You're
So
good.
I'll answer the first one.
Yeah.
And the first one is, what's the difference between writing a novel and then writing an album?
Yes.
Right? So that's such a cool question. I would say that when you're writing a book, it's actually easier than writing a song.
I would not have expected that.
Yeah, it's way easier because you don't see, in my music, I'm curating my own music too. Like, I'm listening to it, I'm saying it, I'm like taking out words like, oh, that's too many syllables. You know, like, I'm changing what the topic is of it, right? And so, and then I'm finding a beat, right? And so I generally find a beat before I write the song, right? Unless there's music that I've written and then I find the beat. But 98% of the music that I make, I listen to a beat and then I curate an emotion from that. With books, and this is something that I'm gonna add into it because this is a great question. You don't have a beat. Your life is the beat. And so the chapter is your beat, right? And then you flow over the top of it. So sometimes it's important to know what the chapter is, right? Let the beat build. All right, how do we build the beat? The foundation. What is my foundation? All right, the SMS. You know, if we're gonna talk about music, you know, living in Phoenix, stuff like that. Kind of got off topic, but if you guys are musicians, if you guys are artists,
I'm following you.
I know you get it. I know you get it. But I went into a tangent. So
yeah, you're good.
And now that I say that, there really aren't that many differences between writing a novel and writing a song. It's just longer to write the book.
Yeah.
Right? It's you're gonna sit there and you're gonna write, you know?
I know you were writing 3 to 4 pages a day at Cartel Coffee in Tempe.
Yeah. This guy's fucking good. He really does his stuff. Shout out Cartel, shout out to Tempe, shout out to ASU.
That's I feel like that is it nicer to write around other people, because writing is a really isolating thing. So is it nice to be like out in the wild when you're writing?
I mean, dude, I was writing and I was looking for baddies. Like, so like,
I feel it's a noble thing. I totally get that.
Yeah, and I would write at the library too. It was just hard to write at the crib. Like it was so hard to like have that creative thought process like at grandma's crib.
I feel that.
It was like, mijo, do you want tortillas? Like, my grandma's from Mexico, so shout out to Mexico. Shout out to Hermosillo and Sinaloa.
That's funny.
Soy mexicano también.
You're
Latina X.
You're like trying to write like this chapter, and you're just like, fuck.
She's like, mijo, do you want tamales? I made albondigas. It's like, grandma, yo, I'm trying to write a chapter of my life that's going to be published in Barnes and Nobles for the rest of the world to listen to.
But yeah,
why are you talking about? I don't know this. What is these sons of a bitches?
Thank you for that was a fantastic answer, and I was following what you mean by the beat of being the chapter. If you are a musician, you totally get that. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
But before we dive more into your life, I want to go back to an album that you love. So let's do the next 2 matchups.
Oh shit, let's go.
I know. Now we're locked in. Mrs. Officer versus 3-Pete.
Ooh.
It's like choosing your kids. It's tough. You love them both.
So this is the thing is, I would put Lollipop and Miss Officer in like a similar category.
I know, yeah.
And I would put 3-Pete and Let the Beat Build
I know,
in a
it's
similar
interesting. Yeah, because this is just based off of popularity.
Right. So, but this time I'm gonna go off the popular one, which is Miss Officer.
I think this song is so fucking good.
It's so good.
It's so well done. Like,
I got caught by a lady cop. She got me thinking I could date a cop. Cause of uniform tight. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a vibe. So we're gonna go Miss Officer.
I agree. I mean, like the wee. It's so like I love melody. So like when I hear that, I'm like, oh my god, like it hits every single perfect chord for me in my ear. So love that Mrs. Officer's going on now. Let's get. I'm gonna break my neck over here. Mr. Carter. This is a really good one. Mr. Carter versus Got Money.
Mr. Carter, bro.
Yeah, that one's like iconic.
Mr. Carter.
My name's Carter, so I love that.
Yeah.
So tough.
Hell yeah.
So what do you love so much about Mr. Carter?
It's just a vibe, bro. It's a vibe. And if you got money with T-Pain is great. I was actually just listening to that earlier today.
Really?
But like I fast forwarded. I was like,
yeah, because it is like if we're going off of like the more popular ones. To me, it's the most boring out of On Millie, Lollipop, Mrs. Officer, and Got Money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's the most important. I think also lyrically, like when he's doing the metaphor about all the seasons,
Yeah.
like that's top tier Wayne.
It's a vibe.
Yeah,
It's a vibe.
It's beautiful. But awesome. So now we have the semifinal set. Let's go back to you for a second, though. I know I'm excited to see because we've agreed on every single one, but I know that your passion for space was first sparked by the movie Toy Story and Buzz Lightyear, and that your 5th grade teacher gave you the nudge that being an astronaut was possible. This led to you joining Lunara's research team in Poland. Can you please break down how you joined that team and what the day in the life of a training astronaut looks like?
Yeah, man.
Like, I'm really interested in this.
Dude,
when you said this on stage, it was me and all my friends were just like, this is so sick.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I remember that, like, vividly.
Dude, so shout out to Miss Simmons. I had the biggest crush on Miss Simmons. She was like definitely like top tier looking teacher. I'm like, I'm definitely sitting front row at this school. So Miss Simmons was.
What did she teach?
She was just like my 5th grade teacher.
Just general. Yeah.
She just taught everything.
Nice.
Like in elementary school, you had one teacher that taught you
everything.
everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then in 6th grade, we had like
specialized classes.
3 teachers that taught 2 different things or something like that. But yeah, Miss Simmons, she was a showstopper, as far as I can remember. So Miss Simmons took us. She was a great teacher, and she took us to like this NASA like simulation place for like a field trip.
That's so sick.
And I just remember going there and seeing the mission control room where there's like computers and stuff, and just thinking like, there's got to be more than just sitting in front of a computer. And I knew it was NASA, and I was just like kind of bummed out. I was like, I thought astronauts didn't need to sit behind the computer. And she's like, anything's possible. And I remember at the end of the year, she went out around different kids, and she's like, Jenny, you're going to be a doctor, and Nick, you're going to play for the major leagues, and you're going to do this. And then I was like, what about me? What about me, Miss Simmons? And she's like, you, Jesse, you can do anything. All right. Wait. And so like growing up, I always took that from a positive standpoint. Now that I think about it,
it's just a funny thing.
I'm like, what the fuck did you mean by that, Miss Simmons?
You'll be a lawyer. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever. Next person.
No, that's great though. But I think it is a positive thing. The way you described it, you're like, this person's gonna win a Nobel Peace Prize. You're gonna be a lawyer. Then
you whatever you want, dude. Yeah, no, I really believe, like deep down in my heart, she knew that like I could do it.
Yeah.
Whatever I chose to do. I think she had seen a lot of resilience in me too, like with my family issues and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so she knew like if he's able to get through all this type of stuff and then also be a decent student, you can grow. Mm-hmm. Optimistic, right?
Well, because I know that when you really became in middle school and high school, you became a really great student.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah.
You said that you struggled a little bit in elementary school, and then it kind of came on, which makes sense that,
Carter's on his fucking shit. Yo, if you're a host, make sure you fucking look up the people that you're talking to. It makes them feel good. I feel good right now. Carter fucking did his thing.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I know what it's like to be on the other side, and it's not fun when they don't do the research. So I always like to do that because I generally love doing this. So I love doing that. But I also want to go back. So teacher inspired you, said that you could do anything.
What is that? What is that? Are we gonna die?
We're good. We can just keep going.
We're good. Yeah.
So you were saying teacher believes in you, said you could do anything. How does this land for you to go to the Poland space team?
Yeah. So that was 5th grade.
Yeah. That was a big jump.
And then after 5th grade, it was just like reality sunk in. I get to middle school. I have good grades. Definitely cheating though. Like,
yeah, you don't cheat. You're not cheating. You're not trying.
But I'm doing the best I can, and I'm getting like A's and B's. And then when I get to 8th grade, I kind of stopped caring as much, and I'm still getting A's and B's, but like now I'm like looking over a shoulder, or like seeing who has what homework and stuff like that. And I remember feeling like, okay, yeah, I'm getting these good grades, but like good grades suck if I'm not learning anything, if these teachers are just gonna let me pass, right? And so when I got to high school, like I stopped cheating And it obviously showed because I was like 2.9 student. It
But
obviously
you were an
showed.
honest 2.9
Right.
student.
SAT scores, yeah, he's not cheating. Like, and I was just doing things to my best ability.
Nice.
And no, dude, I'm not the most intelligent. I'm not the most wittiest. I'm a really hard worker, and I show up every day as best as I can, and I give it everything I can. And that's my life, a box of chocolates. Is you never know what you're gonna get.
I mean, yeah, but I disagree with some of that. You're very well spoken. You're very accomplished. And again, but that's from the mentality to make it happen. But could we talk about the Lunaris?
Yeah, I keep like, dude, I keep skipping that. There's so much to talk about to get to that
Yeah,
part.
you're fine. Yeah,
like
yeah.
Lunaris just happened 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
Right?
Yeah.
5th grade was like 2003.
Yeah.
Right? So we just skipped like 20 plus years.
100%. Yeah.
So how did I get to Lunaris? We'll fast forward. I moved to LA. I dislocate my shoulder. I move into that 5-person home with Black Sabbath being the previous owners. I'm making a song a week. Songs start to blow up. Music's starting to grow. Streams are going up. Make It Happen makes 1 milli. I'm dating this African girl from like Nigeria. Things aren't going too hot. I want to break up with her. And Lunaris calls me and it's just like, hey, one of our analog astronauts broke her arm, dislocated or something, and you were a reserve. We'd love to have you in Poland. And I'm like, God, this couldn't have been the more perfect time.
My man became an astronaut. You always hear the joke like, oh, babe, I got to move to Poland and be an astronaut.
Yeah.
Like, that actually happened.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's crazy.
So I'm like, oh, man, like I just, I have to leave for like a whole month to go to Poland. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know about us. And she's like, this isn't right. And I'm like, life ain't right. And then I dipped and then I did my mission. And then I still talk to her and stuff like that. But like while I was on the mission, like I noticed like some funky stuff going on. So I, separated.
Smart.
And so moral of the story, this is for the men. You know what I'm saying? As men, if you see red flags, cut that shit off. Like you are in no legal agreement unless you're married, then you're fucked. And I'm not saying that you're fucked if you're married, but marriage doesn't really go for men. It's not in our favor. Man, I'm going to get lashed out with all these statements.
No, I think you're just saying it's like, first off, if you're going to get married, make sure that you look at the red flags.
Yeah.
And you make sure that you evaluate your options correctly.
Because the same red flags that you look over are the ones that are going to be coming after you. You heard.
True.
Yeah.
So that's just, yeah.
It's a side note, but back to business.
Yeah, but back to business. But because like the reason why I thought it was so interesting is one, it's an amazing tagline when you were on stage, first astronaut in space. But I know that you also got the okay from the team to work on an album during that time, right?
Yeah.
The M4. I know some of the astronauts actually like helped contribute to it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me like what that collaborative process was it like at the time?
Yeah. So M4 Lunaris mission is the name of our analog mission. And it was flew into Warsaw, took a 6-hour train ride to Piła, went into this old world military tube barrack that they set up as a simulation international space station. And so Agata was like our team mission control member. And then we had the rest of the team from Poland who just helped us out with everything from our science research projects to our EVAs, which were our spacewalks, all the way down to music, audio, communications, operations, spacecraft training, like making sure that we knew the latitude and longitude of where we were in space so that, no stars or rocks or, unidentified objects were hitting, the spacecraft. So a lot of different things going on in my first mission. And it was just so much, bro.
I can't imagine.
It was so much. Like you go from like the pandemic, making a song a week to applying to something, getting accepted, leaving within 24 hours, showing up, you are locked in for like 2.5, 3 weeks. And you start to go a little like loopy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, is this a fucking TV show? There's cameras everywhere watching everything that you do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am definitely on a game show right now.
I just got like
They brought this black dude out from LA that says he wants to be an astronaut. Yeah, this is a great show. He flew out here the day before because he believed that we could fucking. So this is going through my head, dog. I am tripping balls. Right? I'm like, is this really happening? And then I'm like, wait, it fucking has to be because I signed this shit like, this isn't a game show, right? And so I'm talking myself through like, this is real, this is real, this is real. And then boom, like I'm doing it, man. I'm fucking doing it. Yeah. Like this is not a joke.
That's funny. It's like the Truman Show. You're like,
dude, yeah, the fucking Jforte show. Yes, absolutely. Let's put the spacesuit on. How's everything doing in the air? Yeah, baby. Like all the cameras are fucking on me. Yes, the Jforte shout is still going on. Like, right. I still feel like I'm on that shit.
You got the cameras here. Right? That made me fucking, you killed me on that. All right, really quick. Before we go back to the bracket, I guess I gotta ask. So, I know, so I read that you lived in over 14 countries. Your full origin story of going from homeless to successful Renaissance man is something to be celebrated and falls in line with your thesis, Make It Happen. If you could sit down with childhood you and describe your journey in one word, what would it be?
So the question is, if I could tell my
like how about fifth grade you? Describe your journey in one word, what would it be?
Wow. Wow.
That was my reaction when I was doing the research.
Dude. Wow. That would because nothing else is going to capture who the fuck you get to be at 11. Yeah. I'm going through shit. I don't even know if I'm going to be here anymore. If I could go back and look into and I used to go by Nathaniel as a kid. If I could go back to Nathaniel, wow.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
I think that describes it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like when I was doing the research, I'm telling you, I was blown away and just like all the different, my reaction was wow. So I agree. That's a great answer. I think you'd be very proud of everything you've done, truthfully, as I'm proud of you. And I was reading that also that you were in India for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, is your favorite Indian dish still murg makhani with garlic naan, palak paneer, and a side of roti?
He's fucking on. He's fucking on. So I currently don't eat meat.
Yeah,
but all of those things.
You're trying to get out of that.
Yeah. So all of those things are definitely like on my top favorite list. And I didn't grow up liking a lot of Indian food. Once I lived in India, it changed the game, dude.
Yeah.
I was eating street food I probably shouldn't have been eating. Like I was just all over the place, bro.
Yeah.
Got love for India. I fucking love India.
Yeah, I mean, I know you would like perform there like at like different clubs and like on like the subways and stuff, right?
Yeah, dude. I definitely performed at some clubs in Delhi. I performed at some clubs in Nepal and Kathmandu and Pokhara.
That's insane.
I've just,
What a unique experience.
Very unique, bro. I remember.
How old were you when you were doing that?
How old was I? This was like 2016.
Wow. Okay.
So 8 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
Like 22, 23, man.
That's fucking bold. I love that. That was the whole,
everyone's doing their numbers. How old is he? I'm 30.
Everyone that just like, no, like those were all such great answers. I'm so happy you answered that. And you were so passionate about answering that I want to go back to something that you are passionate about, which is this album and music. So
yeah,
let's do the semifinals right now, which is going to be Millie versus Mr. Carter.
Bro, Millie.
Yeah. So between those two songs, why do you gravitate to that song more than Mr. Carter? Because they're both iconic.
Hey, Mr. Carter, I am him. Tell me what you been around the world, then I'm back again.
It's kind of, yeah.
They been asking, who they asking about me? In case you want to prevent. So that is such
it's so iconic.
It's so lit. And Millie is just like, it's so lit. But I'm going to have to go with I'm gonna have to go with a Millie,
Mm-hmm.
just because like Mr. Carter is such a gem that it low key deserves its own thing. Like,
I feel you.
yeah,
It's different. Yeah, I
yeah.
agree.
I don't even want to defend Mr. Carter because there's nothing to defend. It's just a solid.
I got you. Yeah, no,
You
you
know what
just
I'm
chose
saying?
one. Yeah, go with your always with this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Always go with your gut. So awesome. Amelia's making to the finals. Now it's gonna be Let the Beat Build versus Mrs. Officer.
Ooh.
Really tough.
Ooh. Let the beat build be. Nah, that's how you let the beat build. Miss Carter. Miss
Mrs. Officer.
Officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? And so you were doing kind of this like mental gymnastics in your head about which one was gonna be. What was the deciding factor in Mrs. Officer?
It's just the melody. Like when I think about Miss Officer, there's a whole storyline. Like I can see, this hot ass police officer, she's just pulling up. I'm rolling my window down, and like I got stopped by a lady cop. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see that. I can feel it. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm going from a visionary standpoint on this for Miss
Love
Officer.
that. And yeah, it's like I love when a song tells a story and you can follow the narrative thread all the way through. Awesome. We have the finals, guys. But before the finals, which is going to be on Millie versus Miss Officer, I want to do a really quick game of Would You Rather.
Okay, bet.
But like not like in the traditional sense, like more like in your professional life. So would you rather have the #1 book in the country or the #1 album?
Ooh. Wow.
Both #1s, which is, there's not a wrong choice.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. And it's very tough because I feel like books and albums, from my perspective, they're the same thing.
Yeah.
They're just different mediums, right?
Yeah.
So part of me saying book.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Like a Pulitzer Prize.
Well, you can. I'm pretty sure
Kendrick won it. Yeah.
you can win a Pulitzer Prize with
For an album, you're right. So no, yeah, #1 book. I agree.
Yeah.
Top of like New York Times.
The reason why too is that with these forms of media, dude, a book, once people get interested in that, they want to know more, right? And album too. But book is something that just, I don't know, it has this eternity feeling for it. And so does music, but a book, I want people to learn. I want people to experience and understand from my perspective. And an album is a spark note of a book.
I
Right.
like that. Good, very good description for that. So #1 book, I think it's a great answer. Now I want to ask, would you rather walk on the surface of the moon or Mars?
Would I rather? Man. So that's a tough one too, because fuck.
It's tough because like the Mars, you'd be the first person, but the moon, you could come back quicker.
Yeah, and depending on if you go to Mars, there's very high potential that you're not coming back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So which one would you say?
Fucking Mars.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Shoot for the stars.
Yeah, shoot for Mars.
Literally. Awesome. So Mars. Next, win a Grammy or become the mayor of Los Angeles? Because I know you ran for mayor.
Yeah. Win a Grammy or win mayor of LA. Dude. Fucking mayor of LA. Like, I know I'm going to win Grammys.
Yeah.
I know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how God is going to bring it together, but I'm going to keep pushing for it. Winning mayor of LA, I'm a people person, man. I'd love to see how to rebuild the city better than what it was.
Nice. Yeah, I think that I saw the video of you on the news discussing your candidacy, so I thought that was really awesome, man.
What does an astronaut do when he cuts his hair? Eclipse it.
That was good. That'd be your opening remarks when you win.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for answering those. But now we're gonna finish off this bracket.
All right.
We're in the finals right now, guys. Finals for Jforte's Vibe Call West Radio bracket. It is going to be Millie versus Mrs. Officer. Jay, what is your answer? It's just too iconic. I agree.
You dig? Yo, we gotta pull it out, man. We gotta fucking pull it
This
out.
is the first on a Vibe Call West
We
Radio
going.
with the winner. That was the first in a Vibe Call West. Thank you for making history here, for playing the winning song. Caden is like, that was awesome. Probably I see him nodding his head. He loved that. Jay, you've answered all my questions. You've done the bracket. I want to open up the floor for you to tell the audience, is there anything that they should be looking out for you? How can they find you? Everything in between.
Well, before we get to that, I want to say to you that it was dope performing with you out in Sacramento. And I wish you the higher and highest blessings, not just on the podcast, but in life and music and business, relationships, and just to our viewers, man, like, keep going, keep showing up. When it gets tough, find ways to figure it out, be solution oriented, and
make it happen.
Never give up, live to fight another day. And like Carter said, make it happen.
Make it happen. Hey, this was amazing, Jay. Jay, where can they find you though? Can you please, what is your handles on socials?
Yeah, so pay the fuck attention real quick. Can you listen? Can you listen really quickly? Go on Spotify and type in Jforte. Do not put a fucking space in Jforte. There's plenty of people who want to be like me, but they hate us because they ain't us. Okay? So Jforte, no spaces. That's how you listen to my music. Follow me on Instagram, Astro Jforte. That's ASTRO JFORTE. And I have a link tree that has all my books. It has all my podcasts. It has everything you need to know about me. And if you're really curious, fucking message me. Especially if you a baddie. I'm just playing. I'm talking to somebody.
No, you're good. That was great. Yeah, the link tree helped me with my research. So I love that you had all that there. Awesome. Well, thank you for the nice words. I really appreciate that. I say the same thing about you. You're incredibly charismatic, authentic, and your passion has inspired me. And that, not everyone does that. You really inspired me today. I'm excited to go back and create in my own, which is kind of the make it happen mentality. So thank you for coming on here, man. And we will put all of Jforte's links in the bio. Thank you again for coming on. A Vibe Call West Radio episode done.
A Vibe Call West, motherfuckers.